Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media in association with Wellness Therapy and Steel Hub Management. I better get that in because the boxer I'm speaking to tonight, Danny Quatermaine, he's managed by them. How are you, mate?
Very good. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Appreciate you're deep in camp as well because it's nearly IBF European Super Featherweight title time, mate.
Yeah, it's just under 3 weeks now, and I'm very excited, obviously, to get this opportunity to fight for, yeah, like you said, the IBF European title. It kind of come out of the blue.
Yeah.
I was looking for a title, but was probably going to go down the more traditional route of going for the English title, maybe a couple of British title eliminators, and then hopefully the British. But yeah, GBM obviously just signed with them, and they've managed to pull something out the bag such as this. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for myself.
LCS has been busy with you, hasn't he? I mean, it's like you say, you were going to go do the English Eliminator, which for some reason didn't happen, and then bang, here we go, European title fight. I mean, it's fabulous, mate.
I mean, yeah, we had this. I've met Al before. I boxed on one of the boxer shows, and we very much went through him for everything, the matchmaking, etc. And I think kind of shocked him a little bit because he offered me an opponent, and we turned down straight away and said, "No, no, no, we want someone of a good caliber."
Yeah.
And it kind of shocked him, and he thought, "No one ever normally does that." But yeah, we were at that stage where we wanted to just keep pushing forward and move up the rankings, and I think it kind of sat in the back of his mind almost. And then when he's now working with GBM as well,
Mm.
obviously we got in contact with him and had a meeting and discussed signing with GBM. And obviously, as part of it, I said that I'd like to fight for a title as my next fight. I feel like I'm ready, and he's pulled a few strings, and I managed to sort this title out for myself. So I'm very pleased with that. I'm very thankful for it.
I bet you are. And Alex Rat, you're fighting over in Coventry at the Sky Dome. You know, he's a decent opponent. You're going to have to be on top form to beat him, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, and this it's only going to come with fighting for titles. Is you're going to get a lot better opponents. And my last fight was an English title eliminator against Jack Hillier,
Yeah.
one of the top internationals. And obviously, as he turned pro, he was also 9-0. I was 9-0. So someone's had to go, and I came out victorious, stoppage in the sixth round, and put on a good performance. And I think just from having that fight, it's pushed me into thinking, I can push again and go
Yeah.
for someone of more experience. Obviously, Alex Rat, I think he's had a few losses, but obviously a lot of victories, and he's fought some
Right.
decent lads. He's got a decent caliber of fighters under his name.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought people like Martinez, Archie Sharp. He's been in there with, Sandro Hernandez. There are hard fighters. Those lads, they don't go down, do they?
No, no, and I've been doing a bit of homework on him and watching a few of his fights, etc. And I think that's all well and good. I don't tend to watch too much. I kind of let my coach Edwin Cleary do that. He can look at that sort of side of things, but I kind of like to focus on myself
Yeah.
and I almost think particularly let him worry about me rather than me try and change the way I box around him. Almost, I think I've got a lot of attributes to my boxing ability and my boxing game,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to work me out and try and outbox me or outfight me almost.
I mean,
So a
one
bit
one of the
excited.
things one of the things I've noticed from your fights, having watched a few of them, especially in the when you fought Flores, um,
Yeah,
the better the opponent, the more skills we see of you. You tend to just up your game, the better they are.
yeah. I mean, this probably goes back to my amateur pedigree, and from probably maybe 10 fights in as an amateur, Edwin was always pushing me in with lads who were of the elite
Mm.
class at the time, and they'd had 50 odd fights, 40 fights, etc. And I felt like my performance always excelled against them types of lads rather than those lads that were on the same sort of level at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I suppose it's like with all sports. I think that you surround yourself with lads who are better, etc., or who on paper are better, you always end up evolving to be around the same sort of level, if not better yourself. It always betters your own ability.
Yeah.
And I think this is another step up from my last opponent, but it's also a time that me, Mick, Carney, and obviously Edwin have all spoken and said, you know what, let's take the reins off now and go for it.
Yeah. Well, he's doing that tonight in Edinburgh. He was at the Taylor Catterall press conference, and I think he might be having 1 or 2 beers in Edinburgh tonight.
I've seen a few photos of him, and he doesn't look best aware.
He won't send them to me because he knows I'll put them on Instagram. So you've got one up on me. And listen,
Yeah.
talking of Still Hub management, I mean, those guys, they're looking after you really well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Mick's, I've known Mick quite a while actually before he even managed me, and he has that relationship with me that I can talk to him as a friend, as well as management, and there's no stress with it. There's no discussions. We can have discussions, but it's no hard work with
Easy
it.
going.
It's easy going.
Yeah.
And Mick obviously prides himself on making sure the relationship with the fighter and obviously the coach is top, the way it should be in its best form. Because I think if you end up falling out with people or falling out with your coaches or falling out with managers, I think it just makes everything so much difficult, and the communication side of things is more difficult, and it kind of can mess up people's boxers' careers at some point in their life if their relationship with their manager isn't the best.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to work for them, are they?
No, absolutely not.
And Mick definitely pushing all the right buttons.
You're fighting super feather, of course, but going in at European level, yourself, if you get a title at that level at super feather, opportunities at other weights do present themselves at world level. Is that something you think about, or would you be probably more inclined to stay where you are and maybe even go sideways to the British title, for example?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to fight for a world title or at world level. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had sparring with Conlon when he was leading up to the Leewood fight,
Yeah.
and if I'm honest, I went there probably a little bit nervous, thinking, am I going to be about out of my depth here? And we did 8 rounds together, and they actually asked me to come back for more sparring. I even found out that I was sparring him with a broken thumb at the time, so that kind of was a little pat in the back. But I didn't feel like I was at my depth at all. It was a very competitive spar, and I mean, it was more of a congratulations to myself because they wanted me back for more sparring.
Yeah.
Which obviously, if it was no good, then they probably wouldn't have asked me back. And before that, probably 4 or 5 months before that, I was continuously sparring Gamal Yafai at the time, obviously who was European champion, and if I'm honest, he was a great fighter, but I was actually getting the better of him at times in sparring sessions. So I think I learned the level at which I can perform at just through sparring the likes of them 2 fighters. I realised, you know what, I'm not actually that far away.
They're both class fighters, those lads, as well.
Yeah, they are both very good and very skillful. And I think going back to that question, I'd love to fight at a world level. That's one of my aims. But I would also like to get that British title. I mean, it's one of the golden titles to win, and also I've mentioned it before with the GBM promo videos that I'm from Leamington, and Leamington's a very big boxing town, and it's got its history. It's got the likes of Randolph Turpin and Dick Turpin, and Dick was the first black British champion. Indeed. So it's got a bit of heritage with it as well.
So you quite fancy that British title by the sounds of it?
Yeah, it'd be a good fight. And obviously, I watched it the other week, the Blotti Dillon fight, and I think someone asked me, which one would you rather go with? I said both of them, if I'm honest. Yeah. It's one of them fights that people you see a great scrap for a British title, and not being funny, some of the fights that you see at British level can sometimes be better than world level.
Absolutely agree with you, and we're very privileged to be allowed to go to a lot of the fights, and we've seen quite a lot of British title fights, and you're absolutely right, they tend to be probably the best fights. Yeah, because people really care about that British belt. A world level.
Yeah, of course. When you look at it, it looks better than any bout you've probably seen. I mean, And obviously Britain at the moment, boxing's massive in Britain. So to get two lads fighting each other for that bout, it's kind of the pinnacle of British boxing.
Especially in a 50-50 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, them fights are top of the bill fights every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, we can't end the interview without talking about GBM. Of course, you've joined forces with them. Now we've been friends with these guys since the beginning, so we've been to pretty much every show, and they've done exactly what they said they would do. Izzy Azif has put his money where his mouth is, and produced. He's got some great links now, of course, with TalkSport, and the shows are going from strength to strength. Clearly they're doing a very, very good job, and it seems like it's a good place for you to be and showcase your skills.
Yeah, I mean, it's come along just at the right time for myself. Me and Edwin, we've been talking the past few years, almost questioning what are we doing wrong, because I'm a big ticket seller. I'm willing to take fights that are 50-50 fights. You know, I'm an exciting fighter, an entertaining fighter, and we never got anyone come forward and say, you know, would you like to potentially look at a contract for ourselves, etc., even if it was a 1 or 2 fight deal. And I think GBM coming on the scene at the time they have is absolutely perfect for myself. And obviously, I'd like to say it's a great opportunity for them as well. They've kind of got me just at the right time, almost
growing alongside someone like yourself.
Yeah, growing as well as them, and obviously at first, you know, you see it a lot of times with promotions and promotional companies that they say, "Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that," and sometimes you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because not all the time is that their aspirations actually come to fruition. And with GBM, it very much has. I mean, we went to the show in Sheffield 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't sure what to expect at first. Obviously, we were told a lot of big things about it, and as soon as we got there, I just said, "Yeah, this is exactly what they've said they're going to do," and it's quite exciting to go on a show in Coventry, which is the closest city to where I live. It's 5-10 minutes down the road. It's a bigger arena than the Sheffield one, and they've also said that they've got a lot more room and things to be able to do at that arena. So I'm excited to see what comes of it. It's going to create a great atmosphere for everyone. Everyone will enjoy the atmosphere and the entertainment factor of it all. For myself, it's not just about people coming to watch me and watch my fight. It's about them having the whole experience. And I think GBM are going to hit the nail on the head with everything. We felt very comfortable being ringside at their shows. You know, we were treated extremely well. We had people showing us to our seats. They even did food and drink for people, and you don't get that at a lot of shows. So I think GBM are definitely putting their money where their mouth is, and Izzy's definitely doing what he's proposing. So with TalkSport, it's even better. It's got the coverage. You even seen Adam Smith come back on the scene last show as well, which is another great thing for British boxing.
Yeah, it's good to see Adam out and about and back in where he belongs. You know, he's a great guy, knows his boxing inside and out.
Well, obviously he's the talk of British boxing, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is. Listen, it's really good to speak to you, mate, and I think the future's rosy, mate. I think it's a great opportunity for you. I mean, a European title opens up an awful lot of doors. You've got to win it, of course. It's never going to be an easy fight at European level. But we're really looking forward to this fight, and I've got a funny feeling we might see you with a strap around your shoulder very shortly.
I should hope so. I mean, I'm training hard enough, so I'd like to definitely go and win that fight, win that title, and hopefully it opens up a lot of doors for myself and a lot of avenues to go down.
Yeah. So for people who want to come and see it, it's Saturday the 9th of March. It's at the Sky Dome in Coventry. Can they still get some tickets off you?
Yeah. There's plenty of tickets going around. Obviously off myself. So if anyone does want tickets or is viewing this, then please get in touch on social media. Drop me a message, and we can arrange ticket drops and the exchange of tickets. And it'd be great to have that support as well from others.
I've been reliably informed that there's a lot of people already bought tickets, and it's going to be pretty noisy. You've got a good support base, haven't you? Good supporters.
Yeah, there's two types of support, and obviously, people have a lot of supporters that come, and it can be a bit rowdy. But with my lot, they're very, what would you say? They're not too overreactive,
Passionate.
but they make a lot of noise, and it's continuous throughout the whole night as well. So it definitely builds up that atmosphere, and probably brings other people's fans along with it as well, that they get involved and join in.
Of course, Dillian Chima's on the same card, and if you've ever been to a Dillian Chima fight, they Bangra guys with the drums. It's
Yeah,
cracking,
yeah.
mate. So I think the two sets of supporters together, it's going to be a good night.
Well, you've got a lot of local fights on that card,
Yeah.
and obviously a few big ticket sellers. Bradley's another one. Bradley Goldsmith. Obviously, you have got River Wilson bent on there, and you've got a mid central title with Scott
Yeah,
Malvin and me
it's
and Caleb.
middleweight contest, I guess. It's Central Area, I think it is. So
Yeah, so you've got a great scrap there, and I'm sure they'll be bringing big fan base with them for it as well.
yeah, it's going to be a good night. Well, listen, mate, we're not going to keep you any longer because I know you've got stuff to do and you're at the very end of your camp, so you've got your routines to stick to.
No,
Um, we're really looking forward to this fight, mate. We really appreciate your time, and fingers crossed you get that strap across your shoulders.
no, I'm sure I will, and hopefully I can get back on when I've won it.
Well, that's it, and then hopefully the doors to either British or world will open up for you, mate.
Yeah, we'll soon
Danny,
see. We'll soon see. Nice
brilliant.
one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.